Hey everyone, it's Pendragon, and today we'll be taking a look at a game called Rez Plz on the PC. It's also available for Xbox and Nintendo Switch. It is a game that is developed by Longneck Games and published by Graffiti Games. It is a type of puzzle platformer with interesting co-op features. Although you can play it as a single-player title, it is definitely a different experience when you're playing it with a friend. For me, that is when the game feels that it's at its best, when experienced through local co-op or Steam remote play. That alone is a pretty unique approach, as the list of co-op platformer games is quite rare in most cases. It also stays pretty true to the old school fashion of one-hit kills from anything. There are a great variety of hazards throughout the game, including monsters and traps, and all of them just seem to want to kill you. One of the more unique and apparent mechanics of the game is that you have to kill yourself in order to advance or find different solutions to different problems that present themselves throughout gameplay. Along the way, you unlock new spells and that allow you to master some new tricks to aid you in conquering the new levels and areas as you progress through the game. You can also find fun and interesting cosmetics and unique features to help customize your gameplay, which can also at later times include timed modes and different challenges. It is a game that is consisting of 35 levels, 5 different unique biomes, crafted in an excellent pixel art style. The game is a story that focuses around two brothers named Arkan and Zeph, apprentice wizards who are fighting the evil forces of the Dark Arcanum. Unfortunately, there's only one spell that they know: Resurrection. They appear to be somewhat lazy when it comes to their responsibilities, as from the start of the game, they're portrayed as having been out late drinking the night before, only to show up late to an important magic lesson the following day, which results in one of the simpler fire spells being reviewed that day during class to go horribly wrong. Thankfully, the world in which the game takes place in has potent resurrection magic. Later that day, as the boys are recovering, their town is taken over by malevolent forces known as the Dark Arcanum, and it's up to them, two apprentice wizards armed with the spell of resurrection, to save the day. I played this game primarily through the single-player experience, which can at times make some of the mechanics and puzzles feel a little clunky or even slow or downright frustrating. However, I would imagine that not having to cooperate with anyone else except myself made the planning and execution of those techniques or puzzles a little bit simpler. The movement of the characters can at times feel a little off or not as smooth as you might hope it to feel, especially for a game that relies so heavily on performing jumps and various actions with a fair degree of precision. However, over time, the skill in which you execute those does improve as you begin to understand some of the shortcomings of those controls and how they might present themselves throughout the challenges you face in the game. There were a small amount of issues or bugs that I came across during my playtime. There were various instances that I would jump near a mechanic or an enemy only to find that my character would then not be able to jump anymore or pick up any items for the remainder of the level. There were also other times where an enemy that was key to progression would not spawn, which resulted in me having to restart the level or my progress at different times. Graphically speaking, I thought the game really represented what classic 2D platformers driven by pure pixel art might look like. I feel that the developers achieved the aesthetic they were aiming for, and it really gives the game a good old school type of feel, which I found to be pretty enjoyable and nostalgic at times. The story, in my view, however, did feel a bit straightforward, and the dialogue that the characters presented did not resonate as much with me, as I hoped they would. I felt that a lot of the jokes and humor used throughout the game were really targeted at a different kind of crowd, and it felt a bit short in some areas. I understand that the characters were not meant to be the stuff of legends, and that sometimes you get what you get when it comes to saving humanity. However, it just didn't check all the boxes for me. I think the characters could have benefited, however, a little bit more from better dialogue and unique personalities that might have helped the story and events feel like a better experience for the average player. In my view, since both characters are exact copies of each other in terms of mechanics, giving them some uniqueness through dialogue and personality would have helped them stand out a bit more, and it would have only been to their benefit. Overall though, it was still a fun experience and I enjoyed it. It was fun to be able to solve unique and different puzzles and mechanics that involved sacrificing one brother so the other could progress. I'm excited to try playing through the game once again, but with a co-op partner this time. However, something tells me that I'll most likely not be getting beyond the first biome, because the temptation to knock each other off of platforms or to each other's doom, simply getting each other killed, just seems like too much fun. Ultimately, if you're looking for a classic pixel platform puzzler to enjoy with friends via local co-op, feel free to check this game out. I think you'll really enjoy it.